Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of Candid Conversation. Today we have a special guest with us, Lisete Alcalde. She is an amazing visionary artist that I have had the honor of finding on Instagram, and I just fell in love with her artwork. She is a person who feels her way through life, and you can totally see it when she puts all her passion and energy and everything that comes through her onto the canvas. I have the honor of exploring her inner world today and learning from her. Puts all her passion and energy and everything that comes through her onto the canvas. So we have the honor of exploring her inner world today and learning from her. And welcome, Lisette.
Hi, thank you.
We are both abroad and our internet connections are not that great. So today's Candid Conversation will be in audio form, but you'll be able to see her amazing artwork throughout our conversation. Let's get started. How long have you been painting? I mean, obviously I could tell this is raw talent. This is something that is innately born within you. When did you first realize that you had this gift?
Um, I painted my whole life, but just like everybody, like you go to classes when you're like a child, but it wasn't like whoa.
Mm-hmm.
But when I went to Paris when I was 19, and I used to paint like whatever, like not like that. So it was bad there, and I felt like I was in depression. So I came back, and I just didn't find life like beautiful. I didn't know what to do, and I was just like, no, yeah, I don't want to do life no more. So I started painting again, and I just become life again. It was so weird, and then I'm like, this is what I have to do. This is what I came here. So I started painting like hysterically after that. So I say it to everybody after like 20,
Oh.
my 20, yeah.
Oh wow, and how old are you now, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 32. I'm gonna be 33 in 11th of November.
Seriously, oh my god, I thought you look so young though. It's good.
Thank you. Maybe my life is just so not, maybe not complicated. Like I'm just paintings, So I'm not like stressed or nothing.
So, how is the process for you when you're painting? For somebody who I am definitely not artistically inclined when it comes to that at all. Because I just look at your artwork and I'm like, I mean, wow, like that you can really bring that to life the way that you do. I mean, some of your pieces are just amazing. Where does your inspiration come from? And how do you get these visions to paint what you do, the different artworks?
See, I am very in touch with the body, like with my body. I'm very in touch with it. Like I know what's wrong with it, or if I'm gonna get sick, or if I'm gonna get my period. I'm like I know when everything, very in tune with it. So I just start painting always bodies when I was like starting painting, and then after that I just start like becoming in touch with Mother Earth and in my body. Like I start seeing Mother Earth in my body inside, but it was like a feeling. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna start painting about this. It was just an inspiration, like very natural. So I just start painting about like Mother Earth in a body, and then like us being Mother Earth. But I didn't understand it like that in the mind. It was just, I don't know. It was just weird. Like I felt it, not in my mind.
Yeah,
So I just started doing it. Like a lot of stuff about Mother Earth and the body, and then I start doing trees, and then I start doing like the space hugging Mother Earth. I don't know. It's just something that I feel always. Like I don't think about it. I have dreams, but not visual dreams. It's just always feelings. It's so weird. I don't even have how to explain it.
Yeah, no, and I see that you on your Instagram and some of I looked at your website. You say you feel your way through life, and I love that. I think it's where we should all be as humans, is to aspire to feel our way through life as opposed to think our way through life, which is what most of us do.
Yeah.
And so it's obvious to me that you are definitely have mastered that feel your way through life, because it comes through your work so beautifully, and it touches people. And yeah, I saw that your Mother Earth paintings are very popular. Is that what you started painting at first when you really started growing in your craft?
I started doing bodies with no head. It was like my first paintings.
And then
Like
from
it
there,
just
Mother Earth developed.
yeah, but always like the world. I started doing a lot of pregnant women with the world in the belly, but I didn't like with no head. It was weird because I didn't put head on the paintings, and then after that I started just it's a challenge. Like when I knew that I have to start doing heads, so I started doing the head of the body. It was just something that I had to try. So it's been a journey, and every time I paint a painting, it's not easy. It's a battle. I don't know. It's just a battle inside of like judging myself and then all these things. I don't know. It's weird, and so I just like get stressed and then paint because I sometimes doubt myself. And when I see my painting, I'm like, wow, I like I don't even know that I do that. It's weird. And then when I do the painting, I just do it, and then when I see what I do is just like magical comes to me, and then I start being happy, and then I paint. But after I start the painting, but before it's just struggle.
So
And I don't know, it's just
so at the beginning of when you're in the process of starting, because this is good. I mean, you can use this for anything. It doesn't necessarily have to be for painting, but any kind of artistry form. So when you start painting, you feel like it's a struggle, and you find yourself in doubt, and then do you walk away from it and then come back?
no, I always face it. I cannot do nothing. It's like I walk away and then I just go to the kitchen or whatever, watch something, and I'm like, no, I had to go back. It's like a calling. Like I cannot hide myself from myself. So it's like I go and I just do it. And I know when I finish a painting, it passed a couple days, and then I'm like, shit, it's coming again. It's like this thing is coming. Like I have to create again something, and then I just start doing that again. It's something that I don't understand. It's maybe like programs that I have in myself. I don't know about like insecurity or like I don't do this good enough. I don't know. It's just weird. And then when I start doing it and I see like even the shade, I connect with it, and then I just do it, and I don't feel nothing, just like beautiful things, while the painting. While I'm painting. But before it's like weird. It's just it's like a challenge.
So, but once you start painting, you're just kind of in flow, pretty much. You feel like you're able to just move through the painting easily once you're doing it.
Yeah, it's like I take the hand of whatever I'm painting, and we just like walk together in Wonderland. It's beautiful. It's just like I wake up, I feel happy, and then like always like my painting. It's just like my inspiration for life. It's like I eat and then I have to go. It's like I have to do that. It's my only priority.
Wow. So it's something that lives inside of you. It's like to me, hearing you, like it's almost like a force that they say some of the greatest artists of our time, talk about like an energy that just comes through you and takes over you, and you have to like, people get up in the middle of the night and they write a paper, or they write that book, and they do that painting. So it's almost like it's an energy that is guiding you through this.
Exactly. I don't know how, but people ask me a lot about my paintings and what is this about, and I really try to explain the most that I can, but I'm not good with words because it's not in my head, and people always say like, you should do a gallery and then explain every painting and tell the people why you do it, and I'm like, no, I can't do that. It's like I can't express what I feel, it's so weird for me and that's why I don't like a lot of, well, I don't enjoy it a lot of like when I go like to shows and stuff, and People always like, oh, this is the artist, and people is like, oh my god, the artist. I'm like, oh my god, no. I'm like, I want to just hide in the shells.
So you said something right now that I think it's cool to point out. I think that the people asking you about your paintings and giving a description has a lot to do with our human condition. I feel like as humans we're conditioned to always, we need to know, we need to label things, we need to always describe things in order to make us feel comfortable. So the fact that you don't do that, I think, is great, because your paintings don't need an explanation. I mean, it's already coming through you, and I think art, anyways, is up for interpretation of each individual. You have a powerful message with the way that you live your life through your artwork, which is you just feel and you do. You feel, you do. There's no explanation. There's no thinking. There's no why. Yeah. It just is. And that's a huge leap, because I think that's where most of us are trying to get to in all aspects of our life. So now let me ask you this. You do this with your art. So does this transcend, does this go into your personal life?
Oh my God, yes. Since I was young, it's like I have a pretty nice life. Like my parents were always good. Like nothing bad happened to me. But since I was born, my mom always told me like, I always was crying. Mm-hmm. Like I have a bad death, like in my past life. I think I don't know what happened. And when I was young, I remember I have all these fears, like panic attacks and stuff. Like when I was even 5 years old, I have panic attacks. Like you don't see that in a child. So I have a pretty struggling childhood, but not in this, like it was from other lifetimes. We couldn't never, my parents couldn't never figure it out, because they were like, why this kid is so weird, So I always was like that. And then when I went to school, I always felt weird with kids and uniforms and always. And then my parents took me to church, and I was like, I cannot see Christ in the middle of the church hanging with these things in their hands and bleeding. I'm like, how people come here? So I stopped going to church since I was like young, and my parents like, how you cannot go to church? It's like the house of God. I'm like, no, I don't like it. I don't feel right there. So I always like follow my feelings, because I didn't feel right there. And then in school, it was pretty weird too. Like, I don't know. And then, yeah, I have very bad adolescence too, because like these programs, I couldn't like take the programs. And then I asked my mom like all these questions. My mom is like, you need a psychologist. And so they took me to the psychologist. And then the psychologist took me to a psychologist.
I know what you're gonna say. Right? Yeah, the one that medicates you, that sends you medicine. Yes. I've been there. I know. I've been through the process.
Oh my God! And I'm like, are you serious? Now I'm crazy. So they took me these pills, and then I have to take the pill. Just so struggle, like,
See, this is something that people need to realize, that I think it's the ones, it's always like that, because especially the more people I talk to, and as I continue to interview people, I interview people that I feel are living their truth and are an example of what it means to live as your highest self and following your intuition. But everybody has these things in common, where we're usually like feel outcasted as we grow up. We don't necessarily, some have bad childhoods, but yeah. It's all, everybody usually feels alienated. They feel like they're like the ugly duckling from the family, like the outcast. They've been through depression, suicidal, and then psychiatrists. And in the end, there's some of the most amazing people, and it's just because I don't think that as children, people could understand, because you yourself, I mean, you didn't know. It was just who you were, you didn't understand why you were having the panic attacks, and you didn't understand why you didn't want to go to church. To you, it's just like, I don't feel like it, it doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
And other people can't understand that, because, especially adults already have a logical programming.
Yeah, it's true. But I when I was 20, I read a book, and then, no, when I was like 12, 13, about like animals and the diet. And when I was 13, I was like, I'm not eating meat. And my mom is like, how? You're crazy. I'm like, I'm not eating meat. So I stopped eating meat since I
Oh,
was 13.
oh wow. So you haven't been eating meat since you were 13.
Yeah, I was like, no, I don't know. It was just like, it didn't felt right. Now I see the kids that they are born. They tell me that they're like the friends that I have. They have kids,
Mm-hmm.
and they tell me that the kids now they don't like even they taste the meat and they just don't want to eat it. It's so funny. I'm like, oh my god, they have it already. You know?
Yeah,
So
I do believe that the kids, especially the ones that are being born now, are definitely going to be more spiritually already awakened
yeah,
to the truth of
they
stuff.
should. We're doing the work for them so they can be like, you know. Like we are just like working world and then they come in a different world now.
Absolutely, yeah. When we're young, the people who feel their way through lives are usually, you feel outcasted because so many of us are taught to ignore our emotions. But it's feeling your way through life, and I think most kids lose that as they go into adulthood, and you've done a great job of maintaining that and being true to yourself. Is there any times where you have felt it's been really hard to just listen to your voice, or is it something that is just so natural for you now that it's second nature, or do you have to constantly
Uh,
work to remind yourself?
it's very natural to be in touch with me, but like we are in a world with a lot of people, a lot of energies. I cannot be in my house with my energy. You know, I have stuff too that I have to work on. So I don't know. It is a struggle to follow myself with the world that we live. You know, because it's not the same. Like I have to remind myself, but it is a struggle. It is a struggle. It's been a struggle. I'm struggling every day. I have always something that I'm working on. I even call my mom every day. I'm like, Mom, I don't know what's wrong with the energies, but I don't feel right. I'm crying all day. I'm like, yeah. Like, it's like I'm always too in tune with the world, what is happening with the energy, with eclipse. When it is in eclipse, I'm always like, something is happening in the earth because I don't feel right. It's just weird. But at the same time, when I see all these things happening in the earth, I get inspired to like draw stuff, or I don't know. I find people so inspiring. Is even when I go to if I go in a church, even if I don't believe in the religion, I just stand there, and then when I see everybody singing, it's like I cry because I'm like I can feel the power of the humanity. Like
Wow.
it's like overwhelming, and that's what keeps me here, and that's why I draw, because the power of the people, the humans, is so beautiful to me. That's why I'm drawing like humans and the muscles, and for me it's just like perfection. Like, you're already perfect. I don't understand why people want to be perfect. You're already perfect, and you want to just play here around, and I don't know, it's just beautiful life.
Mm-hmm.
The world, the people, for me, is just inspiring.
It's so powerful to hear you say that. Just that humanity is what really inspires you. Do you think that once you can learn to love yourself, I don't know where you are at with this in your process, but once you have self-love, that you start to see the world differently, even as messed up as it still is?
Oh my God, yes, yes, yes. I think Mother Earth is the reflection of ourselves. So I think everything that's happening in the world, like all the things, the disasters or whatever, how we want to call it, is ourselves. So I think every day I want to love myself. I'm trying to love myself more. I don't think, I mean, I know that I love myself, but I don't think I fully love myself, because I wouldn't, I will experience like hundreds of abundance in money. I think when you love yourself, everything is just like perfect. You know, like the money is like the same thing. When you give your love to yourself, you are good in money. When you give love to yourself, like people smile to you in the streets. You know, it's like if somebody like something happened in the grocery store and somebody tell you whatever, and then you're like, why this girl just like shadowed me? And then I'm like, you know what? Because it's my attraction. It's myself. Like everything I just see, like I'm carrying with me. I don't never blame nobody. Like never. Everything that I done, everything that happened to me, a lot of things happened to me in when I was young. And I was a very rebel and stuff, and a lot of things like physically happened to me. And now until I was like, you know what? It's just myself. It's like my attraction. I attract this. It's not like the people that do that. Just start taking responsibility of
when did you
yourself.
realize this? When did you come to the personal responsibility kind of awareness?
One time I went to pick up my sister to a party. So I was like this rebel, untouchable girl when I was young, you know? So I went there and I'm like, I'm going to pick, she's 7 years younger. So she's like drunk in a party and they told me she was drunk and I'm like, I'm going to pick her up. So I went there with my brother and his girlfriend and my friends. And I'm like, I went inside the house and I'm like shouting like, where is my sister? Where is my sister? And everybody's like looking at me like, who are you? So I'm like, oh, I went outside and I was very rude. So the party came outside and they start beating us up horribly, like a horror movie. So
What?
horrible. My brother, everybody. It was like a really horror movie. I couldn't even believe it. So I would just wake up in the floor and I was like bleeding my face and I was like, are you serious? We left and then I was in my room after there and I was like, I can't. That was like the shock. I'm like, this is me. And then my dad is like, you want to go to the cops and how you call it when you go to the cops and say, oh, that girl hit
to report it?
Yeah, report. I'm like, no, I'm not going because this is my fault. She hit. And then when I saw the girl, I'm like, you know what? I didn't say that, but I was just thinking like, thank you. You show me like, who am I? And I didn't stop crying for a week after that happened because that shock, it would hit me so bad. After that, I never in my life did that again. And it was just a waking for me.
Wow. So that was a moment when you started realizing personal responsibility.
I was young. Oh my God, it's so horrible.
Are you and your sister similar in that aspect or different?
She is awakening right now. Like I don't see it like in like I'm in top. You know,
Yeah.
It's like it's her time. And while I was awakening, she was having fun playing in the dark and in the light. You know, and I look at her and I'm like, you little thing, you enjoy everything that you can because one time you're gonna have to be to awake, you know. So now she's awakening. So now we talk more about life and stuff. But before, you know, I talked to her a lot, but she didn't understand me like that. She tried to, but she didn't understand. But now she's more like in my vibration.
What is your take on that abundance and self-love? People chasing money. You know, you did say that you equate that to self-love. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I think that if you love yourself, okay, let's put it this way. The world is love. I see it this way. And Mother Earth gives you love, unconditional love with everything, like the fruits in the trees, air, sun. It's like you're taken care of. But when you are born and they give you all these programs, your parents, they don't want to give you programs, but that's the only thing that they do. I mean, they learn. So you become with these programs and you start not loving yourself, like becoming like, oh no, I don't deserve abundance. So since you were little, I think we carry programs. So we start like give like the love. We start saying to the love, unconditional love, like no, not right now, not too much, just a little bit love, please. So we start carrying that with us, and now it's like a struggle, and it's like so interesting to see. I mean, I even see it myself. Like when I am in love with me, I love myself, I take care of myself. I don't know, I start selling paintings, everything is going good, and then I'm like, oh wow, this is crazy. And then I something happened and I start doubting myself, or something like personal life is going through, and the money is like shut. No money comes to me. It's weird.
Wow.
And I'm like, why? I don't know. Money is just, I think money is just love. And if you love yourself, you're going to have a lot of money because it's just love, you know? It's just like for you to live in this world, you need money, but money is not money, it's love. So I see it like that. And it's weird because it's working. I mean, it's not like working for me. I'm realizing it right now. Like I see it.
Yeah, you're starting
But
to see
sometimes,
the difference.
yeah, like the correlation with money, and then all these things that they put for money, like money is the evil, and money this, and I don't see it like that. I see money, you need it, it's love, and you need it in this world. Like the sun comes every day for everybody, and the money is there for everybody, and it's your, if you choose to take it, you take it. If not, you struggle, you know.
Yeah. What made you decide to start putting your artwork out there?
When I was in New York, I started painting. I mean, when I went to New York because of my paintings, it was just like my dream. No, like, oh, you go to everybody goes to New York to, like, when you're a painter and stuff. So I went there, and then I started painting, and I put my work in the streets. So I started selling my work in the street to survive. It was not love unconditional. It was not at all. Like, I see myself back then, I was like, oh my god, I didn't love myself at all, because I was so struggling with my paints in the street, and then fighting for a space in the street. It was bad.
Why do you feel that wasn't loving?
I don't know. I like when I see myself there, I really no, I don't know. I didn't see myself of like a human being that deserved to sell paintings.
But
So
you
I when I
moved.
was sitting
Did you
there,
move there? You went to New York to pursue your passion.
yeah,
Like, so you basically
yeah,
one day was like, okay, I want to sell paintings. New York is where it's at. If you can make it in New York, you can make it. And
yeah,
you
yeah.
just picked up and left.
Yeah, I just pick up and left.
That's okay. So that's pretty courageous because you're following your inner voice and without a plan.
Yeah, no, I'm very like that. I'm very I do stuff and I don't think about it. I just feel it, and I'm like, I have to do this. Point. That's it. So I left to
Yeah.
New York.
And so okay, so I mean, because that was pretty self-loving, to go and follow your path. And so when you first started, you didn't have a plan, and you were started selling on the streets because it was the only
Yeah.
way that you thought at that time you can make money.
Yes.
Okay.
So I started in my street, but it was cold. It was freezing. A lot of stuff happened. You know, like I have to carry my paintings from the like storage, and I had bruises in my arms, and it was bad. Like I see myself when I think of myself, I'm like, oh my god, it's it's like so horrible. But after that, I start just like seeing myself. Like I'm like, why I'm gonna charge this for a painting? It's not the price. It's what I like. It's weird. Like if I wanna sell my painting for like $10, it's the same thing if I wanna sell my paintings for like $3,000. It's just the price that I give to my work, and then I project that, and then people just I attract people who buy they want to buy that. So I when I selling my work, I was selling it very cheap. I couldn't live like that. So I bartender, I was waitressing, you know, like living with a lot of roommates, like relationships with people, and then I stayed there just for the house. It was pretty struggle, and my mom is always like, why you want to stay there, you're struggling, come back. And I'm like, no, 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 I have to stay here, I gotta fight for this. And so now I'm just becoming like more conscious. I stopped going to the streets, and I built my website. I started doing like a lot of likes in Facebook. I don't know, and then after that I just like start selling my stuff, and I start living by my stuff and no more working.
Wow. So, but you didn't give up because you could have easily, just said, all right, Mom, I'm going to go back home, even though you were struggling.
Yeah.
But
No,
you kept pushing forward, and now you're selling paintings. You know, you're becoming really popular with your work online. You didn't give up, and I think that in the road to pursue our dreams, we have to realize that at the beginning it's not going to be super easy. There's going to be struggles, but I think that if we keep our eye on the prize and we believe in what we're going after, our vision, it'll come to fruition.
yeah, I think you gotta work your way to love yourself. I think I couldn't just maybe, if I wanna love myself, I could maybe start selling my paintings. But unfortunately, we gotta go from the bottom to up. Is that's what how we like being told like life is?
Yes.
So I have to start from loving myself a little bit to love myself more. Now I think I love myself pretty good, and now I can do like I travel, and then I can live here, just paint for all winter, go back, you know. But it's always self love. Like I always come back to self love. Like everything, like we can say a lot of things, but I just like feel like I love myself more, and because I love myself more, I'm selling my paintings. People are watching me. The right people are coming to me. I attract nice people. I talk about like I attract people like awake in here. It's just my attraction. It's me, you know.
Yeah. No, and you're right. And you just said that if you would have loved yourself more, you would have started selling your paintings sooner versus trying to go. Because when you were selling, okay, so this is what I get. So when you were selling them on the street and selling them cheaply, it was almost because you didn't value yourself enough to think that you can actually make it to put it online and to sell it at 3,000. Yeah.
It's because I have pieces that I was selling in the street, and I was selling it for $500, and people is like, oh my god, it's too expensive. And I'm myself, I was thinking, yeah, man, you are right, it's expensive. Myself was thinking like that. I'm like, oh no, of course I will never buy it. They will never buy a $500 painting. It's very expensive. So when I'm like in the same piece, not even I did it like more work in the piece. Now I sold it like $3,000 with no link. People just told me, I want this, thank you, bye. And I was like, whoa, like there it was just like, okay, this is just me, you know, like what I think about me, my work.
Yeah.
Because people see it anyway.
It is. It's powerful. No, that you hit on a powerful topic, and it definitely does come down to self-worth. When you're in doubt and stuff like that, you'll tend to take I guess that's the key. You tend to take the harder road, and you struggle more, which you don't have to, which is what you were saying. But we struggle because we don't think we're worthy, so we have to go through all these processes, and we create all these extra processes. Yeah. For anybody out there who's an artist of any kind, do you have a process that you use maybe when you're not feeling so great? Just kind of rituals you do? Do you meditate?
I don't know. It's something happening inside, and I feel I want when I'm mad or I'm like crying or whatever. I try to center, just feeling my heart, and just breathing there, and then I feel my guides. I think we have two guides because I always feel two guides with me. So I'm always like not talking to them, but like I know your guys are here, and I feel them in my heart, like in my fourth chakra. So I'm just put my attention there, and then breathe and not thinking, just feeling, and I just like get connected. Like I feel good, like I feel energetic, and I can paint more. But life itself is for me everything. Like I look for inspiration. When I'm looking for inspiration, I never find it. It just come. I gotta just settle down. When you look for more, you're never gonna find something that is weird. When you're looking, you're not gonna find. It's like you need to just settle, and it's gonna come to you.
Yep.
So it's just like I just settle, I distract myself, I go here and go to the beach, walk, and then I'm like, and then I see somebody like kissing somebody, and I'm like, oh my god, that's beautiful. That moment, I'm like, I gotta go to paint, stuff like that. Things like you don't have to look for something extraordinary to like get inspired. It's like life is already like that. So why you wanna look for something that is already like that? The simplest thing, like go and in the tree and then just watch a tree, how is it with the wind, how it goes with it, and then doesn't fight with the wind. It just goes and flies with the wind, and you're like, how beautiful! Like something just simple as that. You're watching a tree.
And you mentioned your guides. Is you always been in tune with your guides?
Yeah, when I was young, I used to feel just like angels. I was pray for my angels and stuff, but now I feel two guides with me always. I have a piece too, like a painting that I have the flower of life in the chest, and I have two guides touching my heart. And when I always feel something, when I don't feel connected, I just watch the painting, and I'm like, oh my god, thank you, and I just feel them always with me. It's just always, I don't know, I just don't feel one. I feel always two. It's weird. I just feel somebody in the left, somebody in the right.
Yeah, they're your guides.
We gotta enjoy every moment because we sometimes we're not gonna be in the not high vibration, and it's okay. You gotta enjoy those moments too because you're living in a polarity world. So it's always like the negative, the positive, the negative, the positive. It's like a playground. So I always like see it like I'm okay right now. I feel like this. I'm gonna just enjoy. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna feel the emotions in my body. That's how I came for. That's why I'm here, a human, because I like the emotion. So I just started enjoying even the bad emotion, and I just get out of it instead of fighting for the bad emotion. And I see it like a like something in life. It's normal.
Yes, I think that's the key right there. Not fighting it. I think because when those negative emotions come, they're so easy, especially when you're not aware, for them to take over you.
Yeah, and then that because you yell at somebody, and then you are punishing yourself. You don't love yourself no more. So it's like a circle. So you gotta just, even if I yell at somebody, I'm gonna be like, oh my god, sorry, but I needed to do that, and I'm gonna go back to myself and say, it's okay. He said you yell at somebody, it's alright. Don't worry about it. I'm not gonna be like, I can't believe you did that, or just punishing yourself. I think the worst thing is punishing yourself for something that you do in life, because you just don't love yourself, and then you go around life and you still remember those days that you did wrong things, and you punishing yourself, and then life, you're always gonna attract not good things because you're punished.
What about if we flip that around? What about punishing others for something they did to you?
No.
No, like okay, let me explain this a little better. Okay, because you said because you did say, which is true, because we do punish ourselves sometimes. When we do something, we guilt ourselves into it, right?
Yeah.
But in the opposite, if somebody does something to us, I think that it's very easy for us as well to do that to them, to instead of forgiving someone, for ourselves, and either moving on from that person, or if we choose to continue that relationship, that friendship, or whatever it is with that person, that we let go of the story, that we don't continue to replay it or punishing that person as we would punish ourselves.
I think the people that do something to you, like in a way, I don't think. Well, I don't feel like. I think they're the best teachers when they are doing something to you bad. For me, all the people that did something to me bad and stuff, they teach me the most, the more than. I think they have more love for me because they really teach me something, because they were my enemies in a weird way to say it. And if I'm playing something in a repetition with somebody, I think it's just a mirror. It's like I'm playing that with me. I never blame nobody for what they do to me. I think what they do to me is just me, or they want to teach me something, or they want to see that I'm like a mirror. I'm doing this. Like if I see somebody, if I have a friend and she's like whatever gossipy, and I'm like, shit, I don't like this girl because she's so gossipy. I hate her because she's so gossipy. Well, I think I'm gossipy. That's why I don't like she's gossipy. I think it's me. You understand?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like always come back to me. I never blame nobody. It's how I live my life, and it's taken me 32 years to like realize that stop. I cannot blame nobody for nothing, not even my mom, my dad, or whatever. If I have shitty dads, shitty life, this is just me, my creation, my experience, and what I need to learn and what I need to live. This is my choosing. I choose to live this.
No, and I'm right there with you. I agree with that perspective. But playing devil's advocate for others, I know that for people who are not there yet, it's hard for them to understand that when something has happened in their life, like terrible, like an abuse or something like that, for them to accept that, you know, it's on them, that all these quote unquote bad things, tragedies that happen to somebody who's at that level. Because I think that when we speak like this, it's easier for people who have already transcended that or understand it to grasp this concept. But I think that when you are in the middle of the shit, for example, that emotional, like you're in the middle of getting abused or you're down and out on every luck.
I will try to not really go to the mind, like why things happen or like mind things, because the mind doesn't, you cannot grasp the mind. The mind is very small for all what that's happening. Like you cannot understand a lot of things with the mind. I will just prefer to like love unconditional, or if somebody is struggling and something happened, abuse or something, I will just go there and then not talk about the problem, just love yourself unconditionally, and that's it. Like if something happened to a child, just see yourself, like if you're a small child, and hug yourself, like love yourself. Just do that and don't think about nothing. Just don't think about what happened or blame nobody. Just give yourself a conditional love. And I think love is gonna heal everything. Not putting the mind in the middle of love and you. Just take off the mind, just love.
What advice do you have for people who are on the journey of self-love and self-discovery? What can you share with them in becoming more self-loving?
Trust yourselves always. Never doubt yourselves. If you want to do something, don't think about, like, if you feel something, do it, like creatively, or just trust your creative side without your programs, and just learn to see when you feel a little bit like a cringe, and then you feel like, oh, that's a program. I'm doubting myself because somebody put that in my program, and I buy that every day, and I still buy that. It's just your choice. So just get off of your programs, all the programs that you have, that you know you have.
Well, thank you, Lisette, and I appreciate. I wish you all the best luck in your future, and I know that you're going to do great things. Keep inspiring, keep painting.
Thank you so much, and keep doing what you do. I love that. I love that your YouTube channel, everything is so cool. I like it.
Thank you so much.